Good morning, everybody. The Rev here. It's time for a cup of coffee with Jesus. I pray you are well today. Okay, getting into the scripture this morning about the sheep and the goats, right? It says, but when the Son of Man comes, this is Matthew 25:31, but when the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, and then he will sit on his glorious throne, and all the nations be gathered before him, and he will separate from one another as the shepherd separates the sheep from the goats, and he will put the sheep on his right hand and the goats on his left hand. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, for you are blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundations of the world. For I was hungry and you gave me food," and he goes on and on and on. And he's making a reference between sheep and goats. I never put this connection together before because we've had sheep in the past. We had one sheep, singular. Now we have a flock of sheep and we have a flock of goats. And I really sat there this morning and I thought of the difference between the sheep and the goats. We're referred to as sheep, but sheep are actually very oriented towards one another, and they travel around like a herd, and they look out for one another. And goats are really independent, and when you call somebody a nasty old goat, that's really a bad insult. Male goats stink. They pee on their beard. Gross. They stink. They chew on everything. They climb on everything. They push the boundaries through fences and stuff. They're independent. It's like, we need to be independent, but interdependent with each other as well. And goats just kind of go do their old thing. Everywhere they go, they're pooping on stuff. They're just kind of gross. But sheep, I learned, they're a little more docile. They're very community oriented towards one another. And the key difference that I really saw when I was looking at this, and he's separated them out, and he's like, be more like sheep and less like goats. I had a goat stick his head through the fence, got caught in the fence, ended up committing suicide, right? That's what happened. And no other goat went around him. If it had been a sheep, the other sheep would have been over there making noise because there was something wrong with one of the other ones. And we'd have known where the goat was. I mean, when you have 10 acres of fence you have to look at, we couldn't find this goat. And it turns out he was down underneath a bush trying to get grass on the other side of the fence when he had stuff all around him, pushing the boundaries of what he is fenced in for. It's like